So now we're out in the backyard. Lots of koi. They're a little bit on the skinny side, but they're looking good.
Yeah, the skinny side is I started to slow down on the actual feed because I'll go through periods where we could actually have them for, you know, like 8-9 years and they're doing really well. And then the actual system crashes and I don't know what's causing that whole ammonia spikes and stuff like that.
So what have you got with your biomedia?
I've got a combination of matrix, noodles, bioballs and koi mats. And it's all in that grey drum at the back over there, so the water gets pumped across in there and but you can see the actual
Yeah, I can see the koi mat.
Yeah. So it does get a bit wet there.
Yeah. That's all good. Do you get that?
I'm quite sure you've been wet before.
Pretty sure.
So yeah, look, I do pick up some of that stuff. The koi mat itself, I'll just clean with rainwater. The actual matrix and crushed coral and the other stuff that I've got, I'll actually clean with pond water. And like I said, you know, I'll go for years and years and years without an issue, and the koi have been really good and really healthy, and then something will actually just happen, and that's why there's a couple of smaller koi in there. I did actually have larger koi, but probably about a year ago, I ended up losing a few, and it was quite interesting because when I started looking at the actual water chemistry at the time, it seemed to be okay, but there could have just been a temporary ammonia spike or nitrate spike, and that was enough to really sort of throw them out. So,
and was that around the time that you felt it was overdue for a clean?
No, it wasn't actually. It wasn't, which was the actual interesting thing about it. So I can't explain it. So that's one theory. It could have been nitrate spike. It could have been the fact that the neighbours did some pest spraying, you know, that.
Well, that's never impossible.
And a bit of overspray. They tend to get a little bit heavy-handed at times coming up into the summer season.
And how often are you changing water in here?
Honestly, I don't. There's an overflow there, so when it rains, and at the moment, obviously, we're getting a lot of rain, so it does actually reach up to that overflow over there.
So your issues could be what's called accumulants, because what happens is over time any body of water gets what we call accumulants, is just things that accumulate in water that we can't really account for.
Yep.
So if we're talking months or even years without any water changes, and then you're seeing unexplained results, then probably my go-to suggestion would be do a few water changes.
Big water changes.
Because it could just be accumulants. I mean, even if your water changes are not as good as they should be, if you're not changing at all and you're just relying on rain, for example, then your accumulants very well could be. It's sort of like the issue is very much what we don't know that we don't know type thing.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. So yeah, when that situation occurs, obviously I start doing the water changes. I start, you know, backing off on the food. I start, you know, doing a few other sort of like things as well. But yeah, look, it's been in the 16 years I've been here, I probably would have had maybe 2 of these kind of crashes.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I'd be blaming accumulants for that then.
Yeah, once upon a time I actually had the filtration system in the tank in terms of like, you know, a different setup altogether, and that was just bad kind of the setup.
So the other thing is that with matrix and those biomedias, if they are over 10 years old, it is good to consider replacing part of it, because on a micro level, their pores do end up getting clogged up. So they're not something that needs replacing on a yearly basis or anything, but when we're talking 10 years, it is worth giving it a bit of a refresh every now and then.
The other thing as well, which I noticed, is with the using the rainwater and stuff like that, I do actually have a couple of bags of crushed coral over the years because of the actual acidity of that rainwater. The crushed coral's acting as a buffer, and it is actually disappearing as well. It's actually dissolving over the years.
Definitely.
You know, those bags are getting smaller and smaller in size. But that's been quite effective in terms of just keeping the water chemistry fairly stable as far as pH is concerned. I haven't really had a pH problem in this pond. It's always been around that 7.2 mark. The other one, which is also...
Because you know that this Danichi for the fish inside is about as good as it gets too.
Yeah.
So the two foods that I feed all fish, regardless of what sort of fish, I'll feed Danichi for just pure fish quality, and then I'll feed Spectrum's probiotics. And the reason why I specifically want the probiotics is the probiotic bacteria. Not only is it good for the fish's digestion, but when the fish poo, the bacteria in the poo eats the poo, which is a significant, like as a maintenance guy, the impact I see on both my ponds and my indoor tanks is significant. So I'd highly recommend giving it a go. You just want to fatten them up just a little bit. And it's amazing how little they need of that stuff.
So
What do you enjoy more, the tank or the pond?
I enjoy both actually. You sit back and I can sit there and stare at both for ages, to be honest. I was told I was only allowed one pond and one tank, so I tried to make them as large as possible.
Not good.